So for generations, people have looked, to the skies, searching for answers to one of humanity's biggest questions. Are we alone? But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? What if the answers aren't above us, but below us, deep below the surface of our oceans? That is a shocking question. That sounds, I know, something like science fiction, but it is now being taken quite seriously by researchers, former military officials, thousands of people who say they've seen something they can't explain. Are mysterious objects moving off of America's coastlines and around the world? What's that mean? A popular UFO tracking platform, it's called Enigma, claims that it has logged more than 30,000 global UFO reports since its launch in 2022, and that includes more than 9,000 reports of what are known as USOs, unidentified submerged objects, spotted within 10 miles of U.S. shoreline since August of last year. Witnesses describe objects moving at incredible speeds underwater, making sharp turns, even allegedly going between the ocean and the sky without a trace. California and Florida, they're reporting some of the highest numbers, but it isn't just happening there. Enigma says its data, combined with recently declassified Pentagon files, shows cases stretching from the Arabian Gulf. Some former military officials warn that these objects could pose national security questions. There are skeptics, sure, that say, it just may be ordinary explanations, that unexplained doesn't mean extraterrestrial. What are these people really seeing? Why does so much of this activity appear to be happening around the water? Joining me to explain, Alejandro Rojas, UAP analyst, consultant for Enigma Labs. Thank you so much for taking the time. First, what is Enigma, and how does it track? Does it track every claim out there, and it puts it, or is there some sort of verification?
Yeah, so we are really a reporting and analysis and alert system for UAP. People can report those on our app or on our website. And we don't take everything. We actually have AI and humans scrape these cases first. Really, we just don't want to get any personal information out there.
Sure.
That's what AI is looking for. And then we have a human look at it to make sure they're not hoaxes or mistakes or anything that isn't intended to be out there. But otherwise, yeah, anything that's reported gets out there.
So in other words, this is a real thing. USOs are a real thing, what you're seeing here. And if that is a real thing, why by the water?
That's the big question. And, you had mentioned reports of things going in and out of the water. That's commonly referred to as transmedium because they're flying inside of the water and the air. We don't really have technologies that can do that. And that's what makes this particular type of sighting even more interesting.
Well, I mean, the humans have explored, less than 5% of the ocean. They mapped 28% with sonar. What is down there? I don't know, a kraken, but I mean, it could be something like this. It does make me wonder, the recent release, correct me if I'm wrong, it's coinciding with some of these civilian accounts of these USOs?
Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities. For instance, a lot of the reports that we're seeing from the military, including with this recent drop, are orbs or lights. Or even metallic orbs flying around. That's mostly what's being reported in the public as well, including in the areas. So the Middle East had about 5 cases that were near water, really with Enigma. We're getting these reports actually from individuals in the Middle East, whereas the reports that we had recently from the government are reported from the military. But we've got 33 similar kind of reports in that region. And then in the Indo-Pacific area, where there is 1 report in this recent file drop, we've got 83 reports. So yeah, there is a correlation, a lot of similarities between what the military is seeing and what the civilians are reporting.
Are you seeing a pattern? They pop up at the same time, they do the same kind of things, they look the same?
The orbs are what's similar. The other characteristics that are similar, you had mentioned moving very fast. That's certainly extraordinary, especially underwater. The other one are the kind of right turns, the moving very quick and then being able to change direction very fast. One of these videos that was dropped just last week by the military demonstrates that. This is one near Greece that's gotten a lot of attention. And, that's the sort of technology, again, we don't see mirrored with our own aircraft.
What else could it be? For the skeptics out there, says, it could be anything. If it's not what we're, on the extreme, right? You're talking some advanced military technology or extraterrestrials. What else could it possibly be what we're seeing here or what's being reported?
That's the tough question is what these are. And it's a national security issue, of course, if they are foreign actors or if they're enemies or their technology out there that is beyond what we can do. But then the other question is the big question mark. If they're not ours, if they're not technology that's made by anybody around here, whose are they? And you had brought up, that we haven't explored a lot of the ocean. So if there is some third party here that is very advanced and they're trying to stay hidden or kind of out of the way, the ocean would be a great place to do it.
That's what I was thinking of that too. What do we do with this? Is there any technology we can set up to better track it, monitor it, predict it in these specific areas?
Well, I think the first thing that we do, which has only been done recently, is that the military needs to take it seriously and they need to start collecting those reports. The other thing is we need transparency. We need to be able to figure out or have that information shared with us. No doubt they take this sort of thing seriously, but what are they doing with it? And then, if it's something that isn't an enemy, what are the protocols to get that out to the public? What we've seen in these drops are kind of cases that have been just kind of dumped out there with very little information or very little analysis attached to them. Really, we need some serious analysis and we need to be able to, get some answers.
Well, I'll tell you what, you and me, we're grabbing our snorkels. We're going in. We're going to figure it out together, okay? You go first. I'll follow. But our snorkels are going to be ready, and we're going to do it. We're going to go into the ocean and figure out what's happening. Alejandro Rojas, you're on board with me on that? I see a yes.
I'm definitely on board,
Great.
and I'm excited because in this case of 46 cases, that are supposed to be dropped soon, some of those are labeled USOs. So these are the military saying they're USOs. So.
Let's continue the conversation on that when it comes out. I'd love to see what it is, and you'll help explain it to us. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.